This video is about transitions, which is a term we give to words, phrases, and other things we use to connect our ideas within a paragraph so that the reader is easily able to follow our train of thought and our line of thinking. We have transitions that show many different sorts of relationships. They can provide sequence so that if you're telling something that needs to be told in order, you use transition words to make sure that your reader sticks with the order. They can create emphasis, showing how the author feels toward a particular thing. They can show contrast, showing that now you're introducing an idea that is not in line with the idea you've just talked about. They will show connections, showing the reader how one idea relates to another. They can provide examples or introduce the provision of examples, and they can show cause and effect. This happened because that happened. So let's look at each one of these a little bit more closely. Okay, sequence. And this is easy, first, second, third, but you don't want to overuse the simplest transition words because then it just becomes, you might as well number a list. So try to change it up a little bit and pause the video and read the example here to see how these sequence transitions can be used to help keep your reader in touch with where you're going and why you're going where you are the next step. Then emphasis, and these are great examples of words that can create emphasis. You might want to say something, sadly, this is not how things turned out, or surprisingly, the next thing that occurred was whatever. You can see that what you're doing is telling the reader how to feel about a certain thing that you're about to introduce. So again, pause the video and read the example here and notice the bolded transitions and see what they're doing inside this paragraph. Transitions can also show contrast. And just look at the first two sentences of the example. Nobody argues any longer that cigarette smoking is an acceptable practice for those who wish to remain healthy. However, cigar smoking is enjoying a new revival. You see, there's a contrasting idea. Nobody smokes cigarettes. However, lots of people are starting to smoke cigars. So you see that there's a contrast there, that this is the opposite or different from what was just said. And that helps the reader keep his bearings and know that you're not saying something similar to what you've just said. All right, the next kind of transitions that we'll look at are those that show connections. And I think you can look at this list and see easily how they would show connections. Additionally, also, furthermore, these are just like little plus signs that show your reader, that's not the only idea I had about this. Here comes another one. And then, of course, examples. In illustration paragraphs and essays, you'll be doing little but giving examples. And so you want to call those examples to your reader's attention so the reader knows that's what you're doing. You're not making another point. You're giving an example that illustrates your previous point. Again, pause the video and read each one of these, looking at the bolded words and seeing how those transitions are being used. And then cause and effect. Let's read the example. I think it explains it the best. People who are health conscious tend to watch what they eat, get sufficient exercise, and avoid stress. As a result, in other words, as a result of doing all these things, they experience fewer instances of high blood pressure, diabetes, and many other health-related diseases. You can see that their health conscious tendencies are what cause the result of their having fewer instances of high blood pressure and these other diseases. So that's how you can show cause and effect using transitions. These are just little signposts along the way to make sure that your reader follows your argument, and that's exactly what you want to happen.